From the time that you were working in the juvenile unit, were you involved in the investigation into the disappearance of Harmony Montgomery?
Yes, I was.
What were some of the things that you did as part of that investigation? What were some of your duties there?
Obviously, when that report came into us, it was kind of an all-hands-on-deck type thing. Obviously, full resources of the police department and our partner agencies. My role was just general oversight, guidance. The detectives working on the case had their assignments, and there were several supervisors that oversaw that case. But just generally making sure the detectives doing the work had what they needed, coordination with other entities, other agencies throughout the state, local and state agencies that we worked with.
You talked about local and state agencies you worked with. Could you go ahead and kind of tell us about some of the different agencies that you were a liaison with for this investigation?
Sure. So we worked closely with state police. We worked with New Hampshire Fish and Game. Several searches that we conducted were with Fish and Game. They assisted us. We worked with federal partners. We had the FBI was involved. So we had folks from all kinds of different agencies in and out of our office for months. The U.S. Marshal Service had a designated deputy that was assigned to this investigation, and just kind of the liaison between everybody.
Okay. Did you ever work or liaison yourself with other agencies out of state or outside of federal government?
Yes, I did.
Okay. With regards to also some of the other duties that you've had on this case, was part of that at different times to listen to jail calls that were made?
Yes, it was.
From other individuals? And other times were you asked to listen to other lawfully recorded calls that were made?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And finally, with regards to physical searches, what was your role with regards to any physical searches that were made?
We did physical searches of many different locations throughout the city. We did searches of a wooded area on the west side. We did searches of the riverfront area on the north end of the city. We did searches of Bear Brook State Park, which is, if you're not familiar, just about a half an hour north of here. We did searches out of state that I was familiar with. I wasn't directly involved in those, but several searches throughout the course of a 6-month period.
All right, I'd like to get to each one of those searches, but I want to start with kind of staying at home with regards
Sure.
to in Manchester. At any point during the investigation, did you have any contact with individuals at the Manchester School District about Harmony Montgomery?
Yes, I did.
And why did you do that?
I reached out to the school district just basically in the early days, early on in the investigation, to see what kind of contacts they might have had with Harmony, if she was ever enrolled in school or not.
Okay. And with regards to that, did you discover whether she was ever enrolled in school in the Manchester School District?
I discovered that she was not enrolled.
What about in any of their records for early enrollment programs for younger children?
They had no record of Harmony Montgomery or her date of birth in their system.
You talked about some of the searches that were conducted. I'd like to know what searches for Harmony did you personally participate in?
I mentioned the West Side search. It's an area, a large wooded area, Rock Rimmon area, if you're familiar with that area on the west side of the city, behind Mount Calvary Cemetery. It's probably hundreds of acres. We searched over there after receiving tips that led us to that area. And there was also a search, as I mentioned, on the north end of the city along the Merrimack River.
Okay. You said a search along the Merrimack River.
Yes.
Where would that have been along the river?
It's an area off of North River Road, West River Drive. There's some apartment buildings in particular that led us to that area, and we searched a wooded area along the river, adjacent to the river.
Did you participate in any of the searches of 77 Guilford Street?
Somewhat. I was there. I was not directly overseeing that portion of the investigation, but I am familiar with it.
And what about an area known as Stark Park over near River Road?
Yes, that would be the area I'm speaking of as
Okay.
well. That's the Stark Park area.
That particular search, that Stark Park area, what, if anything, did you coordinate to make sure that search was done?
We had reached out. I had specifically reached out to New England Canine Recovery. That's an organization that has canine teams, handlers with their canine partners that specifically search wooded areas for. They do search and recovery, but they also do. They can do cadaver work as well.
And did you contact them to search those areas?
I did.
Were there any searches that were done in that area, not necessarily on land, but on water?
There were. We searched with the assistance of New Hampshire Fish and Game. We searched the area of the Merrimack River. Again, if you're familiar with that area, it's the area of the dam, the Eversource Dam, and then it would have been northerly above the dam. We did a full day search of that area.
Searching the dam, were you present for that search?
I was.
Okay.
I
And
was present by shore. I was not physically on the boats with Fish and Game, but I was in the area.
from shore, were you able to observe how that search of the dam was conducted?
I was.
And how was it conducted?
Fish and Game utilizes several of their officers in boats. They have teams. I can't accurately testify to what those consist of, but there's several people in the boat. For safety reasons, they have an officer that's hooked up to oxygen that they put in the water that can they're actually dragged behind the boat while they're physically searching. They also have submersible robots that they can use as well, which they utilize that day.
Were you involved at all with the search over at 644 Union Street?
I was.
Okay. Were you present there for that search?
Yes, I was.
What were some of the other agencies that were present with you when that residence was searched?
Again, that would have been our federal partners. The Federal Bureau of Investigation was there. We had members of the Marshal Service, like I said. There may have been some state police there, I'm not sure, but several entities there. That was an entire day. We pretty much took over the entire block.
Just to clarify, was the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, part of that search as well?
Yes, they were.
I'd like to ask you, with your work in the juvenile unit, have you heard of an organization, sometimes also referred to as NCMEC or NECMEC?
Yes, I have.
And what is that, the NCMEC? What does that stand for? What is this organization?
So NECMEC is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They're a national organization that facilitates and organizes searches they assist law enforcement. We can call them with info, they can call us with info. I was basically the direct liaison between this investigation and that organization. I probably spent time on the phone with them at least once a week during this investigation.
Had you worked with them before for children who were missing or believed to be exploited?
I had.
Okay. And what was some of the information that you provided to them as part of your work with them to try to find harmony?
Specific to this case,
Yes.
We basically provided them any photos that we had. We asked them to do the same. And at one point when a DNA profile was identified for Harmony, we provided that to them as well.
Did you ever personally reach out to National Center for Missing and Exploited Children about tips that they had generated that needed follow-up?
Yes, I did.
And I want to ask you about some of those tips. Did you ever receive a tip that Harmony was alive in a place called Surprise, Arizona?
Yes, we did.
What did you do to follow up on that tip?
So we got the information anonymously that Harmony was alive and attending a school in Surprise, Arizona. I personally reached out to that police department, tried to make contact with an officer. I think I spent 2 or 3 days working on that. Eventually, we were able to get an SRO, which is a school resource officer. School resource officers are typically assigned by municipalities to focus on schools. So they sent their school resource officer to that school to make contact with the person that we had a photo of and actually made an eyes-on identification.
So even though it's a town nowhere near New Hampshire, it's in Arizona, you still followed up on that lead?
Yes, I did.
Why?
We're working, again, it's an all-hands-on-deck investigation. It's the most important investigation we've ever worked on, and we're dealing with a 7-year-old missing child.
Zoom in.
I'd like to show you Commonwealth States Exhibit 101. Do you know this man?
Yes,
Who is it?
that's Adam Montgomery.
Have you seen him in person before?
Yes, I have.
Have you heard him speak before?
Yes, I have.
Have you heard him talk to other people before?
Yes, I have.
Can you recognize his voice in person?
I can.
And can you recognize his voice over the phone?
Yes,
Have you reviewed some lawfully recorded calls of his voice?
I have.
And with regards to those particular calls, I'm going to show you what's been marked State's Exhibit 156 for identification. I'd like to ask you whether or not you recognize that exhibit. Feel free to open up the envelope.
Yes, I do.
And what do you recognize that to be?
This is a disc containing a phone call made by Adam Montgomery, which I have listened to, and it actually has my signature on it.
Your signature?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you, with regards to that particular, it's got your signature on this disc itself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, with regards to that particular call, is that an entire call, or is that a portion of a lawfully recorded call that you listened to?
I believe this is a portion of a call that's longer. It's an 8-minute call. I believe this is shorter than that.
Have you heard all of the original recorded call?
Yes, I have.
Okay. With regards to what you listened to on that particular CD, is that accurate in terms of that portion of the call that you heard originally is unchanged for the part of it that's on that CD?
That is accurate. Yes, sir.
So that this is a small piece of the whole?
Correct.
Also, with regards to that call, separate from that, is there any sort of visual component to that call on that disc as you reviewed it? Basically, is there a transcript of what is said in the recording as you're listening?
Yes.
Have you reviewed that transcript, the words that are on the page?
Yes, I have.
Is that accurate for that particular phone call?
Yes, it is.
Is it accurate for the identifying properly Adam Montgomery's voice?
Yes.
Is it accurate for identifying the, generally that he was called another individual and that person's voice?
Yes.
This time, Your Honor, I'd ask I'd ask the court to strike exhibit number 156 and be entered as a full exhibit.
Any objection?
Subject to the prior conference at the bench.
All right, the ID is stricken and it's entered as a full exhibit.
Thank you. Detective Larochelle, with regards to this particular CD, I've preloaded the contents of this onto an area of the drive, and it's my understanding without defense objection, we're going to play that recording now. What I would like you to do, please, Detective, is to be able to listen to the entire recording, and then I may have some questions for you as we go through, okay?
Okay.
Detective, my eyes are failing me with regards to it. Is there a button on there for view to say full screen?
About halfway down.
One more, this it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, thank you. Play this from the beginning.
Did you buy it and sell right now? Yeah, you didn't see that you got the money yet? No, not yet. Sorry, I just wasted this little bit of money. How much did you put on this? Don't tell me what crazy and put money on there like that, though. Nah, I just put like $25. Alright, yeah, that's even a little crazier than I was gonna tell you to do, but alright. Yeah, so whatever. I'll stay on the phone right now with this and fucking, so I just had my lawyer, send me, just bothering me with shit, bro, like, I just got like 800 pages in discovery. I think they're up to like 5,000 pages now or something like that. And, she was like doing like a roller coaster. Like, bro, people, the shit you hear people come up with and some of the shit that these people make. One dude went through police, I was like blown away. Carrie was like, oh my god, it's like a roller coaster. She was like, oh my god, I hope this kid didn't do this. And then it turned out to be nothing. And then, oh my god, I hope he didn't do this. And then it turned out to be nothing. Like, you got fucking dude who was like, he gave a report to the police and was like, oh, my friend, he passed away, but he was very cool with Adam. Told me Adam gave his daughter to him because river, like a breeze to the spot, they had the FBI and everybody up there digging up the river, dude. I'm like, is this real life right now? Like, and she's like, yeah, I'm like,
Pause it right there for a minute. That voice just said, and was on that transcript, indicated that Adam saying that they wasted their time. Is that Adam Montgomery's voice?
Yes, it is.
With regards to the search by the river, I believe you just testified a moment ago on direct that there was a search by the river, correct?
Yes, there was.
And you also testified that there were searches involving the FBI. Is that also?
Yes.
Continue on.
I'm sure they have to take everything that's said to them, no matter how outlandish, seriously, and they have to do their due diligence. But I can get that, I can grasp that, right? But dude, my friend who died, who is cool as Adam, you don't even know what your friend's name was. Told me that it was a very new person that was here, that was, what the fuck, dude? Like, you just, even like, way to just waste taxpayers' money, I guess, dude. Like, let's get, I don't know, bro. Like, I just feel like that's just so, like, yeah, outlandish, bro. Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's like, okay, I guess, yeah, whatever, do your due diligence, I guess, whatever, but that's just, it seems fucking so bizarre to me that you're gonna just think about how much money that you're wasting and an effort to prove something. I get it, you're trying to prove a case, okay, I understand that, do that, really, but at what fucking, at like what cost, man, like you're just gonna chase down people that fucking call in from Arizona and say, oh, I seen that child out here at this restaurant, you're gonna fly out to the fucking restaurant to get video surveillance? That just seems, I don't know, it seems like it's going, like, to an extent that, like, it's fantasy almost, like, I don't know, instead of just considering other options, you're just gonna take these fucking nut jobs that are calling because they want fucking limelight for 2 seconds because somebody might have known me or seen me in passing or whatever, oh, I know that kid, let me tell you about this and that, and just, I don't know, man, I don't fucking know.
Captain Larry Shell. When you heard the defendant say on there that they just wasted their time, with regards to searches, were those some of the searches that you told us that you were involved in?
Yes.
And when you heard him describe in that call saying that it was just a way to waste taxpayers' money, dude, was that transcript accurate as to his words?
Yes.
When you heard the defendant say, just think about how much money you're wasting in an effort to prove something, is that part of the transcript accurate?
Yes, it is.
And is that what you heard said by Adam Montgomery?
Yes, it is.
And when you heard the defendant say, I get it, you're trying to prove a case, kudos to you, but at what cost, man? You're just going to chase down people from Arizona. Is that part of the transcript accurate?
Yes, it is.
And the tip that you described for us a moment ago that you worked on from Surprise, Arizona, is that the tip that you chased down?
Yes, it is.
Do you agree with what the defendant had said in the call, that your work to find Harmony was a waste of time and money?
We have an objection, hold on. The objection sustained.
Captain Larochelle, with regards to the transcript that you've just taken us through, is that a fair and accurate account of the defendant's statements as you recognize them to be?
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Captain. I have no further questions for you. Defense may.
No questions.
All right, sir, you may step down.
Thank you.
Your Honor, with that,